So, huge challenge this week. Um, these guys are absolutely loaded. It's kind of a mind-blowing collection of talent as you watch them offensively, defensively, return game, special teams. I mean, it really is like an NFL roster. I mean, height, weight, speeds, explosiveness, receivers that can score at any time, great running backs, defenses playing as well as anybody in the country. The collection of defensive line has to be, one of the best ever. So, and linebackers probably playing as, like the SEC Player of the Year. So this will take a great week of practice, great preparation, great scheme, to play these guys. So this is a huge challenge. They've done a phenomenal job of getting a collection of players that are extremely elite, talented players. So even better than a year ago. So it's a big challenge.
Well, you may have touched on it right there with Texas A&M, I think, leading the country in team sacks. Just what have you seen from their front, and what do you believe what about them has given a lot of teams problems?
They're just dominant. I mean, they're dominant players in the run, and they can pass rush. They bring other ones in to rush too. It really is not real exciting for an O-line coach, I can tell you that, to watch these cut-ups. So A&M's done a great job of collecting players and putting them together. So it's a big challenge.
Playing a third straight year in one of the two polls, programs hit top 10 or cracked inside the top 10. Just what does that speak to what you've been able to do, especially with setbacks during the season that y'all been able to overcome?
Well, I think that's kind of neat. I guess 3 straight years to be in the top 10, but it doesn't matter to me except for what you finish. So it's good that it brings attention to the program and to be able to do that, especially as you're going against a program that normally you would think would be the team in the top 10 3 years in a row with their roster. That says a lot about our players, our coaches, our fans, but what really matters is where do you finish at the end of the year. So that's our goal, to keep getting better, keep winning games. We try to, achieve our goals and not let others achieve their goals. I think I read where Jimbo said their goal is to be bowl eligible. So if we can get in the way of that, that would be good for us too.
A lot was made in the offseason about them bringing in Bobby Petrino as offensive coordinator. How have you seen his influence on what they're doing offensively?
Bobby does a great job, always has wherever he's been. Really great schemes, great play caller. I actually was quality control coach at the Jacksonville Jaguars when he was the offensive coordinator, and I've always had unbelievable respect for him, football knowledge, and IQ.
Along those lines, Lane, how different has their offense looked since the quarterback Weigman went out and Johnson's come in? Have you seen a noticeable difference in what they try to do?
No, I think that he calls his plays and does a great job of it, and kind of has a pro-style passing game, but then gives you some problem college elements to it too. So like I said, they're better personnel than a year ago collection, and a lot of those young guys are a year older, and they're obviously way better schematically on offense.
You've obviously gone up against a lot of really good defenses since you've been at Ole Miss. Where does this one, just in terms of talent, rank against the teams that you've gone against?
Talent-wise, it's got to be as good as anybody. I certainly realize who's coming next on the schedule, but these guys, when you look at height, weight, speed, and the way that they run, I don't know how you collect much better. So congratulations to their group that collected these guys.
8 games in, haven't had that morning game, had a lot of 6:30s, couple midday. Is there anything to getting that first early game this late in the season? Is it maybe better getting it this early and this late in the season?
I don't know. I always thought we would play well we're a morning format team, so we practice every day early in the morning. The kids are here at 6:30 in the morning every day. We're already off the field now. Majority of people are more traditional old school afternoon practice. So I would think body clock wise this would always benefit us in 11 a.m. games. So the other week it was said we play great on road night games, which I didn't realize. So who knows? These guys, I was thinking it was in our favor, but they just got used to it because they just played one a week ago. So who knows?
Any benefit from DJ having been on the staff with you, as far as you're concerned?
Benefit for us?
Yeah.
I don't think really. That usually benefits them more, from initially knowing the personnel of us, and what we do. And when he was here, we kind of played different schematical the last 2 years than what they're doing now. So I don't think it benefits us a lot.
With that front coming to town, is there something you say to your offensive line, or does the challenge kind of just speak for itself?
We got to play really well in all areas. Whenever you have personnel that you go play like this, and glad it's at home at least. So maybe there's some crowd noise involved where obviously at their place that's an issue, helping them get off the ball. And they've played very different, as you can see record-wise, under Jimbo at home with that crowd, and on the road has been dramatically different.
Just kind of along those lines, how has John Garrison done 8 games in? What's he kind of like as a coach?
He's done a really good job with the guys. Coached with him before, and I think really did a good job, especially under all the pressure and conversations about not running the ball well early in the year, and kept the guys together, and he's done a really good job.
Whole month of October, you held all 3 opponents to under 300 yards defensively. You got to be excited about that team finally stepping up and playing like you wanted them.
I am pleased with our defense, how we're playing, but we're going to have a much bigger challenge, with their schematical change this year. They present a lot more challenges than before, and elite players. So we're going to have a really big challenge against these guys.
And you've gone through it a couple times now, bringing in receiving options through the transfer portal. Is there a science developing chemistry between your quarterback and those guys quickly? Have you learned how to maybe facilitate that?
Well, a lot of that's on them. I mean, they got to do a lot of off-season work, and sometimes you get guys really late like Sakari, so they don't have that. But that is a challenge. And it's a challenge in your timing passing game for those guys to get used to each other, especially if you have some guys miss time like Trey did, or Jordan with his hand, so that is a challenge.
Go ahead. Up top.
There's some reports that Jimbo might be on the hot seat. Just what are some of the challenges when you are coaching with kind of that pressure on you? And is it possible that kind of his guys rally around him, play even maybe a little bit harder for him?
I don't know that. I mean, I think people said he was on the hot seat last year, so I don't know that the rally around player thing works. It's part of the profession, and, I think that it just goes with it. So you just got to go back to work and do the best that you can every week.
And then I know, big challenge this week, but is there any concern about guys looking ahead to Georgia or not really?
No. I mean, this team's way too talented to look ahead. If they were, they got woken up this morning when we showed them the film. So, I've said it a number of times. I mean, this is like an NFL roster of talent collected and put together. And now it's even harder than it was the last 2 years to beat them, because now they have Bobby Petrino running the offense. So this is a really, really, really elite, talented team that very easily could be a top 5 team in the country.
Or anything else for coach?
All right, thanks, guys.
Players in that